We want to bring on Myra Benjamin, you know what I'm saying? So we can chat with her. We can ask her a few questions, you know what I'm saying? Chop it up, real deal from the field. We bring it to you live here. So let's bring on my girl Myra. Myra, come join us. Come on in, you know what I'm saying? Check you out. Oh, there she is. What's up,
Hello,
Myra?
everyone.
What's up?
What's up?
So
So Myra,
excited.
where are you located right now? Just so people know, because where you
I
be at?
I am 15 miles south of Oakland. I grew up in Oakland, and that's my
All right.
city.
All right. Shout outs to Oakland, California, like they call it Wokeland. You know what I'm saying? I can
Oh
totally
no,
dig it.
let's not go there.
So Myra, let's talk for a little bit. I want to know, like, what was one thing in your journey that you did that like surprised you? Because I think sometimes people are always kind of doubting themselves in their journey. But what was it for you that you did that like really surprised you? So talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So earlier on in my career, I didn't know anything about software engineering at all or development. And what happened was I fell into it, and I surprised myself by actually learning how to program. And I didn't take, any formal classes. I just took up the challenge of learning that. And at every point in my career, I've always learned some more things in other languages. And I also surprised myself by at one point when I was a little bit burned out, I decided to be a project manager for about a year. And I kind of faked it till I made it. And it was okay. And then I hopped back on and went into engineering management, and I was okay. So it's, sometimes when you need a break, take the break. Don't doubt that you can't get back into it. And that's it. So those are a few things that I was surprised with myself on.
Word, word.
All right, that's good stuff. So, all right, now you're senior director of engineering at Change.org. That's a big position. For those that don't know, that's like the top of the software engineering chart right there at the company. So, like, you know, the guests, our viewers are wondering, what is the coolest thing you've been able to do or afford as a result of your job?
All right. There's actually three things. I couldn't pick just one. And that's how great this career is. Um, I think my one of my all top things was I was able to do a motorcycle tour in Cuba. And I went through the entire island, and it's kind of expensive, but I decided to do it with my husband, and it was great. So that was something I could afford. The second thing is I love cars, and I have a Miata MX-5, and it's red, and it's a convertible, and I love driving that thing all over the place. And the last thing is that I was able to pay off my house. So even if I get laid off, because all of you are aware of all the tech layoffs, I can still stay in my house and not worry about trying to afford the mortgage. Yeah.
Boom, boom. See, you pursue some secret. You be in the drop top. You know what I'm saying? She got the drop top coming home, making sure all the bills is paid. And we doing a little traveling and vacationing on tropical islands. You feel what I'm saying,
That's
y'all?
right.
That's coming from engineering, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Software engineering, director of engineering. You heard she at the top. You heard my man Ben say she at the top of the top. So if she wanted, it ain't tricking if you got it. And it sounds like my girl Myra, she got it. You know what I'm saying? But that's because she put in that work. She pursued this field. You know what I'm saying? Now, why do you think it's important for black and brown folks to pursue like the STEAM fields? You know what I mean? There's a
Mm.
lack of people pursuing it. Why do you think, particularly for the black and brown folks, it's important for them to pursue these careers in these fields?
All right, the single most important thing right now, and I'm sure that all of you are aware about Chat GPT and machine learning and AI. Unfortunately for all of us, it's been created by white people, and there isn't any representation in that technology at the moment. And the few members that we did have involved in that, like Timnit Gebru and all that in Google, they were forced out. And what's going to happen is that these algorithms are biased. And what we want to do is remove that bias by getting involved in the technology and being at the table when decisions are made with this technology. At every point in my career, when I've seen things that are kind of off, I'm there at the table to represent and say, I don't think we want to do this. I think we want to go this direction or that direction. And it's important for all of us to be in these fields because every company has tech now. And if we don't have representation, we're invisible to them.
Mm. I
So
like that.
important.
That we weren't even thinking about that. Some people didn't even think about. They'd be like, "There's even going to be biases in the AI because our folks are not in it." Like, yeah, I'm saying like it's so the machine learning is going to count us out because we ain't even. That's crazy, crazy. So
Mara, what's the most enjoyable part or favorite part of your job?
I really love working with engineers and helping them grow in their careers. I've taken interns and they've stuck with me and they end up being principal engineers or senior software engineers. And just seeing them grow in their career brings me a lot of joy. And I just love engineers. We build things, we make the world run. So, as long as I can be involved in this industry, I will be.
word. What is it like the one? What's the one skill? Because I mean, there's a lot of skills, but if you had to pick one skill, what's the skill that you use most in your job?
Well, everyone's going to be surprised by this, but it's writing.
Hmm.
If people think, oh, I'm going to be a software engineer and all I have to do is learn how to program. Well, I'm here to let you know that writing is actually the number one skill that you need to know. You've got to be able to communicate via email or even in Slack or to your managers or to other coworkers. And if you can't communicate clearly, people don't understand you. Writing, I mean, when I do performance reviews, that's writing. When I'm writing a report or a proposal, that's writing. When I'm sending an email, that's writing. And a lot of that is just around having good skills around English and grammar and everything else. So it surprises a lot of people, but I'm here to let you know that that is very, very important.
That's
You heard
amazing.
it here, y'all. Pay attention in English class. Pay attention in English class.
So
Y'all
so
need it.
so they can't rely on Chat GPT
Yeah.
to write them an email, write them an essay, right there. We're gonna take one question from the audience. We got a very good question from Barry here. Um, can you answer that? So what are some real life instances where the AI can be biased? What does that look like in a real world scenario?
Yeah. So here's one that is kind of related tangentially to AI and ML. You know how we have some police departments have identification software and they look at profiles of people. And at the moment, AI doesn't know how to distinguish between black faces and other people of color. And so you could be mistakenly identified for something that you didn't even do. And that's because they don't have a training database enough of images of people of color at all. And so that's one instance that I think that has real consequences in life.
That's good.
Good question, good answer. I'm still trying to learn about all these things, man. That's why we be steaming the streets, y'all. You know what I mean? Because there's a whole lot of things going out there that we don't know about. You know what I mean? And the barriers. And Myra had a barrier, right, Ben? What's this? Let's talk about that barrier.
Yeah. So in your story in the app in your video. So once again, for those who are watching, Myra is featured in the Steam the Streets app, her profile video and in her section on Director of Engineering and Leadership. So in your story, you talked about not knowing English when you started school. As a Dominican immigrant, how does it feel to break stereotypes?
I can't even describe this. There are not many people that look like me that have my background in this industry. And I've been at every company that I've been at, I've been either the only woman or the only person of color or the only woman of color in the seat of management or as a very senior technical person, a software engineer. And it can be, I'm not going to sit here and say it's all roses. It can be kind of lonely. And it's been hard for me to find mentors. In fact, I don't really have any at this point. This is why I'm very interested in telling my story and sharing it with all of you, so that you know that a person that looks like me with my background can succeed in this industry. There's so much that can work against you, but if you just think about at least one person that's made it, you know that you could make it as well.
Mm. Yeah, that is like this is
Mm.
why, and this is why I love going to schools. When I go and do school presentations, I show Myra's video, and there's a heavy Latinx community throughout the United States. You know what I mean? And when they see that, and it just brings me pride and joy. Just to be like, yo, we know a fierce woman who's at the top of her chain, who's put in that work, and it hasn't been, to your point, it hasn't been all roses. Not like, oh my God, like, oh hey Myra, hey, just come along and everything's gonna be easy, and just like, so again, we appreciate the work that you do, and showing young folks, and not only young folks, but people like myself, like, yo, things are possible. You put in that work, you continue to fight, you continue to know your value, and you continue to know your worth. And sooner or later, you chilling on a motorcycle through Cuba. You know what I'm saying? Living your best life. You know what I mean? So anything's possible, man. And I appreciate that. And just to think, like, yo, black and brown folks, young women, you hearing this? Like, homegirl here is making crazy bank, and she's changing the world while she's doing so. You know what I'm saying? She's creating products that are helping to change people's lives, right? So like, this is why the work that we do is so important. That's why you got to go download the app, go check out Myra's whole video. You know what I'm saying? You learn about her whole story. You kind of see how leadership plays out into the world. So make sure you guys go download that. And Myra, once again, salute to you and to your family, and for being the person to break stereotypes and to be that inspiration. And you know what I'm saying, just being a dope human. You know what I'm saying? So we salute you for that, sister.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Myra. Appreciate you joining us.
Very
Word,
much.
word, word. Peace out, Myra. Peace.
Bye.